and now we're in.
Yeah, you don't want those times to get sharpied out there in the crowd and make angry fans start running OMG over them here. But we are into Champ Select for game number 1. OMG will start off on the blue side, EDG over on the red, and OMG missing a ban might mean that one of these substitutions was an emergency, which probably means that Sun or Uzi or both were late additions to the roster today. Callista, the ban from EDG. OMG are waiting out their bans. They've been penalized.
I would just like to point out how amazing the coach looks here from EDG.
Aaron's shirt is awesome.
That is unbelievably awesome, to say the least. EDG, he can do what he wants.
He can.
Let's give him that credit anyways. You're right, they are missing bans. A lot.
I don't know who the emergency was. I don't think it was Going because he was announced, I think, a week or so ago.
He was announced.
But Uzi or San, someone has snuck in here for EDG, for OMG, sorry, in game 1 as Rise gets banned again. Probably just these standard bans here for EDG. Makes sense. You're on the red side anyway. Just take away the strong.
I mean, I guess that's the interesting aspect of this pick and ban phase is that now that they're not actually banning anything, EDG are forced to ban target bans because OMG is still first pick. So there's always the possibility of what do we actually want to get rid of? Because a lot of things are going to be available now. We have to make adjustments in our drafting phase. They get rid of the Shen as their last pick, and that leaves open a whole lot.
Yeah, Azir actually picked up there for Cool. He's had good games there on the champion. I do like the Shen takeaway. It's a strong pick here in the meta. Would Suit Going? Certainly.
Yeah.
And again, that's the other question is that Going, you can see him there on your screen. We haven't seen this guy play in a very long time. No idea what he's up to in solo queue or in scrims.
That's right. We don't know what to expect from Going. We've only seen the 2 Gnar games from him, so we still, Gnar aside, we don't know what he's capable of playing. The Shen ban does indicate that he's able to play Shen. The Rise ban in particular is a bit of a flex, so maybe banned from Cool as well as Going.
Yep.
Very strong at the moment. Remember, we are on 513, so still a very, very good champion as EDG have lost.
Yep, Braum and Rek'Sai are the 2 picks there as Loveling just takes to his Gragas. These junglers, not very surprising, and it makes a lot of sense.
Not surprising at all, of course. Clearlove not going towards that Nunu that he played in his last game. Going to stick back with the Rek'Sai, and Braum the pick, a very, very good support. Will suit Mako very well, actually, with the way that he plays support.
It was very nice here. See what Sang wants to take away. We'll get Janna here. Wonder how much practice he's had on the champion. Don't know, again, how much support play San has done, but he's playing the role here, at least for this game. And have Uzi in his language. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Yeah, and I guess as an ex-AD player, San,
yeah,
will know what it feels like to have the blessing and a curse as his partner now in this bottom lane. As they do lock in the Janna, they've got the Gragas immediately, and they've got the Azir. So their team comp at the moment looking good for scaling. They've got the frontline and support options available for the Azir. You would imagine that Uzi will go towards some kind of hyper-scaling AD carry. Could revert back to the Sivir and go full team fight style, but I would like to see more of the Vayne from Uzi right now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. If there's ever a time to play Vayne, it is now, which Uzi has to love. But Maokai and Ezreal are the picks here for EDG. Pawn has not swapped his summoners just yet, but you have to think at first glance that is his champion.
Or both. Hey. Why play one?
They do have 2 AD carries in the bottom lane, if you want to get technical.
Well, let's not get too technical because I may just do it.
Look, the last things I remember from Going, obviously the 2 Gnar games that he's played this season, and top Rek'Sai.
Okay.
With teleport.
Yep.
So with, Smite teleport, I think. Ooh, Trundle instead. Pick up there for Going. That is the Sivir though for Uzi. Yeah. OMG, going to stick to what they know.
It was almost like Uzi saying, I want to play Vayne. San saying, no, you must play Sivir. And they hovered both at the same time. But they have gone for the Trundle here for Going, which is a very nice adaptation to the laning phase against a Maokai. As one of the better champions at actually controlling Maokai in lane, keeping him down with consistent split pushing, and actually having the capabilities of 1v1ing the tanky champion that is Maokai with just the Tiamat.
Yeah, we've seen this from Flandre quite a lot.
Yeah.
Trundle's certainly good against tanks, makes a lot of sense with how his kit, especially the ultimate, plays out. So good against Rek'Sai, good against Braum even there as well. And of course, his lane opponent, Maokai. It's simply a matter of what EDG want to last pick here. It does seem like Pawn will be getting the Ezreal given the current Corki hover. Be just fine there against Sivir, especially once he gets some levels, but plenty of opportunity to mix it up. EDG going to keep things tricky. And they lock in Jinx.
They do lock in that Jinx, and now EDG have finished off their own team comp, and they're very good at poking, very good at sieging objectives and taking down turrets. They've got a massive front line, and they're really strong with vision control from the Rek'Sai in particular. So standard EDG is such a well-rounded team comp that can literally do it all. They're not the kind of team that just has one theme. They're not a team fighting team. They're not a skirmish team. They're not a poke-based team. They can literally do it all with this comp, and that is what they will do.
They will, especially with Clearlove being on something like Rek'Sai, a champion that we have seen fall off a little bit, but Clearlove has just not gone away from it. He loves his control junglers, and Rek'Sai is a very aggressive control jungler, which is kind of weird to say, but kind of makes sense when you see it play out, and Clearlove has so much experience on the champion.
Definitely does. 4 of his last games as well were on that Rek'Sai, so has a massive affinity towards that champion and will be taking that one away here for his team. And again, the very heavy vision control, matching the early aggression that Loveling has picked this Gragas for.
I think there was a bug, because Def did... Oh, no, they did swap, it seems like. Never mind, we'll fix it up. Going versus Corey in the top lane. Did manage to swap at the last second.
Okay.
Almost tricked us. But Corey is going to be on the Maokai versus Going. Back in the lineup on the Trundle, but Loveling versus Clearlove. And of course, it's Gragas versus Rek'Sai.
Why would it be anything else, basically? Both loving their early aggression, control-based junglers. As we move towards the mid lane, we've got hyper-scaling, lots of damage.
Yeah, Azir versus Ezreal. Going to make a difference in the mid to late game, especially. Uzi back in the lineup also here. Going to have Sivir versus that Jinx. Deft happy with the matchup and happy in general. Very good AD carry player and has a great support behind him in Mako. He's on his fun pick recently. He's been loving the Braum.
Yeah.
Kind of one of the first people to bring it out in the LPL. And San is playing support, but he's on the Janna. It's curious. It's very curious.
It is super curious, and we'll see how San can actually perform when it comes to this Janna pick. It'll be very interesting with these teams.
Yeah, with that, you know what? Let's let the players do the talking, Rusty. It's time to get in the game. Well. How things change, Rusty, as we're almost about to wrap the regular season of the 2015 summer split for the LPL. Going is back on the Trundle, though, this time up against the Maokai. EDG not pulling any punches in EDG week. You play the MSI lineup or you die.
Basically, and they're going to try and win as convincingly as possible in very standard EDG style to play to EDG weak strengths, basically. They've just got the crowd to back them. Just a boot, you know. OMG, they've got the Trundle, so they have the counter pick for the top lane. They've got scaling in the middle lane, and their bot lane is the facilitating role. But knowing Uzi, he's still going to be a carry role as the facilitating champion.
And that's the biggest thing to look at is Uzi does play Sivir, but it's a bit greedier than we've seen other Sivir players here. Can OMG get farm on everyone? That was the problem they had starting this season. Or is Uzi sort of back things off a bit? And it's not even just in like how he gets farm. It's like, have they sorted out shot calling and stuff like that as well? Because there's a lot here on this team, given how much they've changed, that you know OMG are going through lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, OMG, again, they've got 3 carries, as you mentioned, but they're probably going to only have 2 lanes to farm at any given time, based on the fact that right now, EDG have got their Jinx in the top lane, and their Trundle is jungling here, so a lot less resources available, especially because of this lane swap, but there's still so many carries from OMG that require it.
And look, maybe going someone changed his style as well, we don't know, but it was just a thing where that trifecta, the cool Loveling going show, which it was for the longest time, just couldn't get everyone the items and gold they needed. So see what adjustments have been made, as it is going to be 2v2. San and Uzi, the new bot lane, put to the test here.
Yeah. Now, Deft and Mako in this lane in particular don't have a very great time. I know Mako, Braum in particular, very strong at level 1. But Uzi, with a Janna to boot, the lane control they have is just superior. As you can see now, the damage they're putting down is just unbelievably high. So you look to EDG, you say more the BF sword style. Once they actually get their items, the Jinx's range becomes a lot more prevalent in the laning phase, and that is where EDG will find their strengths.
Yeah, you can see as well, early game in the mid lane could also be a similar story here for EDG. Cool on Azir, going to be just fine at most points of the game, but we saw it before in Ezreal there with Xie from Mortal Elite. You do need the early game to go well.
Yeah, game. Once you get the Rune Glaive, you start to become exponentially stronger with every added item from there onwards. So getting to that, not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but once you do get to that stage, you're very strong. So every lane from EDG, not necessarily in a winning position, as we've actually found ourselves in standard upside down lanes.
Yep.
The Trundle getting the lane that he was looking for, and that is the Maokai.
It is 1v1 there. Going versus Koro. Teleports used by both as well, so won't have them up for a while, but doesn't really matter given that they're sitting on the Dragon side of the map anyway. But you're right, it is strong lanes here from OMG, and to me that suits them. They've always been a team that are just full of strong laners.
Yeah, so it's on OMG to try and make something happen from having these stronger lanes right now. They've got strengths, they've got control of the top lane, mid lane's being pushed in, and you can see actually Loveling placing some pressure down on this top side. Clearlove knows though, but he's about to be spotted by a ward also, so it's on to OMG again. Not only is top winning, mid's pushed in, and honestly Loveling could invade Clearlove right now and know full well that the rest of his team can rotate and respond sooner. But instead he's just trying to get some farm himself.
Yeah, now Clearlove's the one coming in for a gank. Mako's going to line it up. Uzi knows he's in trouble. Good spell shield there. Tornado from San's good, but the stun will come in. The knockup's there, and first blood goes to Jinx. Now San could be in trouble, gets stunned up there as well. Loveling here, maybe a little too late, and Jinx gets a double kill, and all of a sudden, it's gone wrong.
And just like that, Loveling was in the bush. He was in position to at the very least gank or counter gank, put down some pressure, maybe reset the lane, but instead Clearlove, quite literally sneaking through a ward, spotted by them on multiple occasions, gets the gank off anyway, baiting the spell shoot out of Uzi, and they find a successful double kill onto Deft of all people.
He was the last person you ever want to give any semblance of a lead.
Yeah. Basically.
I mean, you mentioned it before, needing an early AD to sort of get ahead in the lane and tip the matchup back, and already Deft's got himself some boots and a pickaxe.
Yeah, and that's compared to boots and a long sword from Uzi right now. He's desperate for some relative items, some stats as soon as possible, rather than later, and has decided to go for a long sword as the option, which is not that great.
I mean, needs something here. Uzi's definitely the kind of AD carry that buys whatever he can. He squeaks out every little advantage. That's what makes him so good. But I actually like this because I'm curious to see how Uzi plays from this position. He's a greedy carry normally, so Civic can still do stuff when behind. What can Uzi do in this game given the current position?
Yeah, so the laning phase is behind for him right now in terms of items, but Clearlove not making this any easier for them, that's for certain. The fact that hit, I was surprised he didn't follow that one in. Uzi's on the other side of the lane right now, so whilst Clearlove's in a good position to get a gank off, San's about to ward.
Nope, instead goes in for the knockup. Uzi has to cleanse it. No, waits it out, the spell shield. And now they're going to come back in. Mako jumps in again. Def going to get another kill. Might even be another double hit. Def, can he make it 4-0 in about as many minutes? He is going to. Fourth kill goes to Jinx.
Deft is racing the clock right now.
He is?
He wants to get more kills than there is time in the game before it ends. And Clearlove again smartly re-ganking the same lane. No summoners available in a defensive manner. San actually having Ignite on the Janna to have a combat lane. Why they had lane pressure so strong so early is that they've not only got the Eye of the Storm, they have the Janna with an Ignite to boot, so extra aggression. But EDG playing this far superior to that of OMG, camping Uzi, making sure he's not having a good time in laning phase. And this is a smart team, not just strong play.
It is, and you can see Def even going to trunk out the tower. Lovely going to try and take him out here. Uzi, he wants blood. I don't know if he's going to get it though. Deft is very low, but he's got his heal and his flash. This is the Def special. Bait them out. Loveling goes in. Gets knocked up instead. They're Def still saving things. He's used the heal already. Loveling's gotten low. Uzi wants it. He's going in so aggressive. Clearlove gets knocked up. San will get the first kill. And OMG do answer back.
They do find the answer. Def.
Oh no.
Oh, Koro's here.
Yeah, he's here now as well. Loveling gonna get cleaned up here. Knocked back there. Uzi can't go anywhere else. Def gets another one. Can he make it one? No, Mako. What a scumbag. Steals the killer's pawn. He's around. He wants it. He's taking the tower. Not good times.
What are you doing?
Gets executed.
Did Mako?
All right, Def's dead now as well.
What is
Full
happening?
rows up. I don't know. But everyone's in the top lane. Gogon's the only one to not come here.
And he has his teleport. What are you doing, man?
He's busy.
He's not busy. He's trolling around in the bottom lane. He needed to get all 10 members into the top lane. I'm disappointed in you going. But in saying that, Deft has 5 kills at 8 minutes in this game. He has a BF sword and a pickaxe. And he's on his way to an Infinity Edge by about the 10 or 11 minute mark if it continues on this trend. Because nobody is farming besides the top laners. They're all killing. I mean, it was really good that Cool actually rotated because he's got 70 CS and a kill now to boot. He's going to be a very big mid laner, and he's against just the Sheen of Pawn. So in terms of strength, I mean, the bot lane duo, there's no way you can compare the two right now. He still has just boots doing a longsword compared to a BF sword and a pickaxe. But mid is strong. He has a Morello's right now compared to the Sheen.
And I'm just wondering where OMG, I guess, put everyone now, because Uzi still needs some farm. He's got Berserker Greaves, which is nice and cost efficient, but he obviously can't stand in this lane.
He has to though, right? Because they've got Go going to beat Koro in laning phase, has the Tiamat now, so he's dedicating himself to split pushing in the 1 versus 1. And especially now because Koro doesn't have the teleport available. Mid lane is winning, so you don't want to take a 0 out of a winning lane and put him in a 1 versus 2. There is no other answer besides having the 2 versus 2 against the Fed Jinx and bringing pressure down here from Lovely. But that is so predictable. The Clear Love is here at the same time, and EDG have already answered by bringing their bot lane to the bot lane to control the dragon.
And this is the thing, Loveland's pressure has just not been there at all this game. And it was, like you said, predictable. I agree, but I think the same can be said for Clear Love's pathing here as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought it was overly predictable to the point where he shouldn't have got that first gank off in the top lane, let alone the second, and then all of the following ganks afterwards. So it was predictable, but the execution was just so superior to that of OMG's capabilities to disengage that really it just came down to individual mechanics as to how these kills even happened. And the fact that Jinx got all of them, that's a team-based skill. True.
Agree there. Just curious to see where Loveling puts the rest of his pressure, I suppose. Tower did also fall on the top side, but Go and got the one in bottom. So we'll lose a couple towers on either side here. Have the gold even up a bit more here, but you see about 1,300 gold up for EDG, and I'm not kidding. Most of that is on Deft.
I'd be surprised if any of it isn't on Deft right now. As you look at the CS differences across the board, and everyone is behind. There's just 5 kills on Deft and 1 on Mako. The anomaly right there is that he has taken one away from his
He stole the other kill.
You get 5, I get 1. It's a pretty fair deal, I'll be honest. If that trend continues.
Deft's not, I guess that's true. If the ratio holds true, then Deft will be happy, but he's probably not happy right now. It's Clear Love going to zoom in, take himself a gromp. If Go he's going to let him have it. Death here as well, actually. Very curious movements here from Edward Gaming. They're looking like they want to see to tier 2 because Deft has Berserker.
So funnily enough, the Trundle not winning lane against Crow on this Maokai because the pressure that EDG have been placing on the map is acting on the top half opposed to the dragon control. So completely foregoing the fact that they could get a free dragon if they would otherwise choose. They are instead focusing on places to get objectives, to get standing gold and snowball, not just Deft.
Yep, makes sense. Give everyone some gold. Spread the love around. As Cool's trying to keep Pawn here fixed into the mid lane. Uzi getting free time and free farm is good news though, so he's got a lot of catching up to do. He'll start it now against this Jinx by pushing a wave into the turret. That's one of the weirder transitions I've seen from EDG. A little bit unorganized there as Cool still having his run of this lane. Pawn keeping it close though, only about 10 CS behind right now.
Now should mean the Rune Glaive at least the component, so he's going to be a lot stronger in this lane phase. He's going to sacrifice a lot of pressure mid lane to ensure he gets that. Going with a Janna shield. Turrets are not long for this world when there's a Trundle hitting them, I'll put it that way, because you could bite them.
Can you? Oh, you can too. Do you steal AD?
You wouldn't steal AD from the turret.
That doesn't, I was going to say, that doesn't flavorfully seem good. Yeah, okay.
So the thing
just checking.
Yeah, the thing is that it's actually an auto attack reset. It doesn't just like keep the cooldown of the Q and consistently fight like a Gnar does, as an example, with some spells. Realistically, it's really good for Trundle in this lane now. But you can see EDG were putting a lot of pressure to take a chance on the top side to try and keep going down. It hasn't worked, but it was also, again, due to the fact that Koro didn't have his teleport, he does this.
Yeah, got a Hydra now as well, does going. So top laners looking to match up nicely here. EDG, though, do swing back down and get the dragon. Uzi had to back away. Goes and buys himself a BF sword, actually, which is a nice pickup, but he's about to get dove.
Not in a great position here, Uzi. He does want to farm as much as he can. Has it frozen, so at the very least, EDG are going to break that freeze. question Clearlove quite knowing that he's spotted a Janna.
Jeff is so strong. OMG this time will come to the rescue. Smart timing to move back down here and make sure Uzi kind of gets supported. And the way this flow of the map is working is a nice spell shield there from Uzi gives him some mana. Is actually distributing gold very nicely.
Yeah, it's working very evenly here from OMG, but I guess a lot of the pressure from EDG has been bot lane centric, which is something we mentioned in the pregame is debatably the question mark of OMG. Maybe the weak point, we weren't entirely sure because San is currently the support. Uzi very resource heavy. It's hard to work around people like that if you're new to the role. But OMG, they're doing it well.
Yeah, nice transition again there. Rotate to the mid lane, take out the tower with a bit of help from Going. And EDG kind of getting run around right now. The gold is back to even thanks to all of that global gold. Like you said, get everyone ahead, not just one person. That's what OMG are doing in this game.
Yeah, and it was what EDG were trying to do somewhat, but they weren't over-committing towards doing it, as we are still very early into this game. The AP Ezreal only now hitting the first items, of course, starting to scale more and more. They're content with farming EDG. They don't need to just close out the game with the super fetching. So if the opportunity arises, I'm sure they will take it.
Yeah, important to note that Deft has not gone back to shop in a little while, and Uzi has been CSing nicely, so these things are probably not as close as they appear, and like you said, Ezreal does want to scale as well. Lovely going to poke his head in here around the side, trying to get a gank off, but we'll clear off a ward here instead. Let's going. He's unrelenting right now, 20 plus CS ahead of Korra in the top lane, continuing to push.
Yeah, it's hit the point where Koro's actually doing jungle camps here and there to avoid laning against Going. And again, we said it was a counter matchup. 100% is a massive counter matchup, but it's starting to hurt here, Cool. He's feeling the heat.
Yeah, blue buff there for Ezreal. Good chunk of damage there out onto the Azir, but he'll have Rabadon's Death Cap or Zhonya's or Luden's. Probably not the last one, but got a needlessly large rod. He's looking for that 2-item spike pretty quickly.
A lot of the focus right now from EDG, as you can see, is in the bottom side of the map. Clearlove is just here to ensure that Deft is getting as far ahead as humanly possible to let him carry the game, right? But Going is massive. He's controlling top lane. He just took away the red buff, and that half of the map belonged to OMG. And EDG not making adaptations to recognizing that fact. They're not trying to kill Going. They're letting him do all of this, sacrificing objectives and advantages to ensure, again, the Deft is finished. So there's a lot of sacrificing.
That was amazing.
That'll help.
That was actually amazing.
Oh, blind as well, and it wasn't straight.
He also CS perfectly under tower with that ulti.
Yeah.
That did literally everything he needed it to do.
Yep.
And now he has blue buff. That's BS.
Ford.
That's all that is.
Ford, pretty good player. I hear is.
Yeah, you think so? Apparently he's a world champion. Who would have thought?
How did Uzi win that trade?
He's Uzi, and there's a Janna that's
That
level 8.
is an Infinity Edge. Berserk agrees. Jinx obviously mustn't have critted.
Maybe Deft's unlucky. Yeah, that was going to be my suggestion. Clearlove's here as well. Not going to be winning any more trades. I mean, Uzi holding his ground. Been very impressed with our OMG of navigating what was a horrible start to the game. It's almost a miracle that we're back at even, and OMG is starting to gain momentum, but the game is still balanced. Very close between these two teams, and we have a Dragon back in 3-ish minutes or so. And EDG is still looking for ways in, trying to get further and further ahead.
Yeah, so again, Clearlove basically the second support in this lane. They already got the top turret. They're going to go for that bottom turret and take that one down. Most likely go from there to middle, work around this turret, and then go for the dragon. Hopefully on time. You can see Koro already here to help take this one down. And now EDG starting to put on the pressure. And on the back of Morn, not only stealing the blue buff away, but Clearlove being that second supporter.
Yeah, OMG can't stop all that, so EDG will get themselves equalized back on tower and actually get back ahead in the gold lead as a result. Nice bit of standing gold there helping our EDG, and they'll go back ahead to about the same lead they had before of 1400, 1500. Dragon up in 110 though, Going still applying pressure there in the top lane. Korra can't really stop him right now. We'll see if Gogo's going to get a tower, although Korra at least able to clear the wave out. But yeah, don't do it, Korra.
There's no point ever trading with a Trundle. He always looks low, but if you ever get him too low, he'll just press his ultimate and heal back half of his health again. So this lane matchup in particular, not great for a Mount Guy. I've touched on it a few times, and it's evidenced through the CS lead that Trundle has now accrued in the 1 versus 1 exclusively almost. Has even roamed across the map, got the middle turret for himself. So OMG are doing well. They've got all of the outers in terms of their standing gold, which is big for them. It unlocks the map more so for them to rotate through the enemy jungle. And we've seen that again through Trundle stealing the red buff away. So they're taking objectives where they can, but it's super hard to take objectives anywhere where the Jinx is, because there is always going to be a Braum, and there's always going to be a Rex site. They're holding hands.
And now Ezreal's getting stronger as Loveling's looking for the initiation. Has to wait out the Unbreakable for his ultimate. Does not pull the trigger. And Pawn's going quite late game here. It's cool. Almost ate a Jinx ult for his trouble. It's going to be a 5v4.
Just Dragons.
Yep. Nice look for a pick there for EDG. They'll get themselves on top of the dragon. And that will go to them unless Loveling has a big steal up his sleeve. In fact, he's just going to walk away.
There's no chance of stealing that one. You were relying on the Janna Miracle Tornado, essentially, as EDG making their way to respond. But again, OMG, they've got that Trundle. He's not going to relent.
Yeah, he has one job, it feels like. Stay in the lanes and split push.
Exactly, and he's going to continue to do that. You can see from his build alone, that is what he's trying to do. Once he gets tanky items, he may start looking to team fight, but until then, he's very susceptible to going down to kill, getting ganked potentially. Team fighting's really weak for this Trundle right now, especially when you have a look at the build here. He's going to have to use the ultimate, take it away from Koro, because Clearlove's going for help.
Yep, giant spelt there for Clearlove. Got a Cinderhog up already and a Sightstone, so a lot of health actually there against the Trundle. Glacial Shroud now for Going. Might be moving into a bit more of those defensive items. Avarice Blade, Infinity Edge there for Uzi, so not too bad on his itemization. And the Rabadon's almost done there for Cool in the mid lane as Pawn. Runeglaive into Archangel Staff actually. You're going to go for the eventual Seraphs.
Scaling build. You look at the Jinx, scaling AD carry. So they're looking at the 2-threat comp, and they want to outscale entirely that of OMG. Sivir does drop off in terms of damage, the Azir does not. So they're looking to have an extra threat. But Going, the wild card, is still going to be relevant at all stages of the game. He's an anti-tank in the way that he has an ultimate, and he's very good at killing carries, and then he becomes tank by being an anti-tank. So the life of Trundle, very volatile.
Yes, but pretty good, especially when you're ahead here, and Going's had a nice start to the game here. Do you think there's a window here for OMG where they need to look to, if not finish the game, at least do enough damage that they can finish from that point?
They don't have direct spikes in power. You look at Cool and say maybe after the second item is completed, which seemingly is going to be the death cap based off his itemization thus far. The Sivir still has that longsword, the wild card, but you'd say around the third item here, the static shiv into the last whisper would be when Uzi hits that big power point. But you've got San, you've got Going, so you can fight at stages where you just make good initiation, good engagement.
Oh, EDG. Doing an EDG Baron. This is the special.
They've been spotted.
That's good for OMG, who now going to try and stop them. EDG going to try and finish it. They've gone in with the Sivir ulti. The Baron will fall. They've had 2 smites, but Koro's been called out. He will get taken out here. Loveling trying to stop Clearlove. Gets him out of the tunnel, forces the flash, but it's only 1 kill for OMG.
And they pick up the Baron. Typical EDG fashion. If they ever find an opportunity to do it, it is gone. And that was superb play from them right then. The decision making as per usual. They did well to get a kill here. Koro does go down. He was essentially zoning, and so he was pretty much attempting to not die as best as possible. So he was going to go down irrespective. And that is the ideal scenario, except for maybe just the flash. You can't complain.
No, EDG, a very EDG-esque play there. And all of a sudden, they'll pump that scaling up and have a nice strong mid-game at 22 minutes. Phantom Dancer is done for death. Cooldown Boots just picked up for Pawn. And first major tank item in the Spirit Visage has been completed for Koro. OMG are getting their items as well. But with the Baron, EDG have momentum. They do work with Baron. So what are they going to do now?
Uzi just sold his longsword to get a static shiv.
That's Uzi.
That's not efficient.
No, it's not.
Well then, he's looking to spike now. OMG are looking to win team fights immediately, you would imagine, given that he has decided to do that, especially when he's about to get 300 gold worth of minions in the bottom lane for free. Does make you wonder what Uzi was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the death cap was also completed here for Cool. But EDG, as you said, they were buying their own items. The Phantom Dance are the choice here for Def. He is massive on this Jinx right now. 5 and 1 with his 2 core items completed. And the Blasting Wand, as well as the completed Lucidity boost for the mid laner of Pawn. He's getting down as much cooldown reduction as he can do immediately. And he's going to try and teamfight as well, you would imagine. Or at the very least, keep cool down.
Well,
Extra wave.
Azir's not been stopped too often here. OMG probably have to wait out Baron before they can pick a team fight, but they are team fight ready. Dragon back in a minute 20 or so. Maybe a decent spot for them to try and get a look in for a 5v5 or 4v4 if they want to leave going split pushing. In fact, Koro sort of been cut off there on the wrong side, but EDG are sieging in the bottom lane. Good tornado there. Maker will block it though, and they'll get them off there, but Koro's kind of running away towards the wrong towers. Good ult there from Pawn. They will try and protect this.
Def will take a lot of damage from Cool, so that is the one thing to keep your eye on, is if the Azir can do anything, or if Pawn can continue to poke from the flank, essentially, which is just the brush next to them. Going and Koro, they're trying to stop each other from teleporting.
They're playing their own game. I don't know what to tell you. Ulti there from Jinx, hits Cool, good splash damage. Sun immediately with the ultimate out to reset. Smart play there. And this is just a protracted siege in a 4v4. I love what GoGoing's doing there.
He doesn't have his teleport available, so he's ensuring that Koro's not going to be anywhere that he isn't. They're going to hold hands, and he's going to save that pillar to ensure that he can't teleport in. But the 4 versus 4 from EDG is actually superior.
Yeah, with Baron especially, there's nothing they can do. That poke is absurd. Cool. Very nearly dies to a bit of Ezreal, and EDG will get the turret that they want. But that Baron is worn off now.
Yeah, so they get 1 turret basically for their troubles for the Baron buff, but it's the gold advantage that we were looking for EDG. We said most of their gold is going to be on depth, so the fact that they actually get a Baron, they're going for the 3rd dragon, and they pick basically a couple of kills here and there. For the most part, getting turrets and standing gold is giving everyone a boost in their strength. And that's a very well-timed Seraphim Grace here from Ezreal.
Yep, Pawn does get the transform there. Going popped. Pretty tanky though. Ulti out from Easy. Hits no one. Koro maybe caught out here. They're going to pop the ulti. They want the kill. They've got a tower. Great flash there from Maokai. Gets himself out from under the Gragas ulti. And OMG can see what they want to do. Group as 5 and try and get a pick.
Still not entirely sure where that Ezreal ultimate went.
I don't know either. Sort of just fit.
It didn't exist.
Maybe he fired it the
Was it
long way.
invisible?
I'm not sure. I hope not. That's going to be an interesting caster experience.
And Jinx red buff.
That's good. EDG now going to get themselves...
I thought he might have stolen it.
Did he?
He threw the wrong
Clear
one.
left?
No. Uzi superior last hitting the
Oh, Uzi could
Yeah.
able to
No,
get
but-
himself Crocs as well.
OMG, again, they're trying to make trades out of situations such as that. They found them going towards the blue buff. They had the inside lane towards the 2nd turret, the inner, and they wanted to get a pick onto Koro, who going is keeping in place. He is putting him in his place, and that is holding hands with you, whether you like it or not.
And he does not like it, let me tell you.
He does not like
Koro's
it.
not a fan. Might just group with his team now and say, this guy, he's bullying me on the
Hey,
playground.
you guys come to my lane, 'cause this
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. And Pawn's now the one split pushing away. Going, looking for an initiate. Gets Def there, caught around the pillar. But the chompers are down. Loveling's going to eat one of them. Pawn is still pressuring.
One of the key features for them actually fighting is Braum unbreakable, opposed to anything else. Of course, Ezreal was splitting mid, which is why they were trying to push the issue with actually engaging. Not possible. The turret actually is still going to go down.
Pawn does get it. Void stuff done now, and the Seraph does mean he has decent damage, even for a AP carry. But everyone else still getting stronger. OMG at this point just want to force a fight here for EDG, but like we've seen, we're not going to give them any fight that they're not happy with.
I like the build order here from Pawn as well. He's looking to scale his build, but still accelerate it at the same time.
Ooh, ulti there popped. They are going to go in. Loveling though is going to get caught out and killed. Mako will get credit there. Ulti out there. Zuzi, I think spell shielded there for the damage, but cool. Almost gets the chair. Pawn's doing so much damage off to the side. And again, OMG just can't sit in these sieges.
Trundle's the issue right there. He tanked the front line, has not lost a bar of health because of his ultimate, has the shield from the turret. And try as they might, they're looking to poke members of OMG down, even if they can't directly engage because they're struggling to do so. The spell shield was nice from Uzi to ensure he didn't take any damage really at all. Walked out with his life quite easily. I think the heal maybe was used there as well. And they diffused the situation essentially, but for the most part it is all on the back of this Trundle, who just does not look like moving. He is basically an immovable pillar of filth.
He's almost 16 as well, like level 16.
Yeah.
Getting absolutely huge here. Frozen Heart done as well. Going.
Horn is 16.
Born's having a great game again. Like, one of those things where whenever teams get Ezreal, I feel like I look back on the game and wonder why. And I'm starting to get that feeling now.
In the same respect, it's like he's 0-1-1. He hasn't really done much, but he's still having a great game because his impact is still evident irrespective of his score.
I just feel like OMG don't have a good answer for the comp EDG presented.
They don't. If it's a prolonged siege environment where EDG are in control of the area, really difficult for OMG to deal with it. Whereas if OMG are running at them, that was interesting from Lovely.
It was.
Then it's better for OMG. EDG are very good at still disengaging, and that is the thing. So like their team comp is so well rounded here at EDG that there is nearly no answer available from picking someone off. And they've got a Trundle top, so pick not that easy. You look to cool them.
Yep. And like initiation, right? But where does that come from? Cool and Lovely.
Yeah, and they're not reliable engagers. So OMG are running a disengaged style of comp where they can re-engage at their leisure. They've got the Gragas, Janna, Civic.
But they're losing. Yeah.
Very good at doing the same thing, and then Azir, of course, very good at doing the same thing. But they're being poked, not engaged.
Exactly, and that's the problem, right? Now EDG just going to go do Baron again here. It's going so low already. EDG's Baron damage is insane. They'll get it again. They'll start the fight. Lovely going to get caught and stunned by the Brawl multi. Or passive, sorry, is death. Does get the kill. Korra charging forward with his Righteous Glory. Does get stopped by San. But OMG just falling further and further behind.
EDG are just a team that can win the game through objectives. They don't need to win team fights. They go for the Baron. They get 2 Barons now, 29 minutes in the game. They've got all of the Dragons. And though OMG are trading well, they've found turrets. It just doesn't feel like there's ever an answer to what EDG are pressing. And that right now is going to be mid. They've got wave clear, so it's not too bad. And I mean, if you want to put some solace to the fact is that their side wave control here from OMG has actually been stellar. There has rarely been a situation where EDG have been able to rotate from one lane to another based off that control alone. So it's not an easy game for EDG to close out by anything.
No, and you've seen again, they get Baron, they usually get into sieges, and that's how they get a lot of their structures. Couldn't break the base, only got 1 tower off the last Baron buff, but have had so much map control that they were able to get the second very easily. And now we'll see if they can break bottom side. Unbreakable is such a good spell. Every time I see Mako walk up and like look over, I'm like, oh, he's blocking everything.
Shiva can't do a thing.
Gragas, feeling sad.
Janna tornadoes. Not a great time.
It's not a great time at all. Also unlock the Ezreal pick here as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not everything here for EDG, but it's just a nice little addition. Because they're going to get Dragon number 4 as well. OMG, they're running out of spots. So running out of things to give EDG here. They cannot keep giving away objectives like this.
Yeah, they're just not contesting. They looked to steal the Baron essentially. They were pushing their way down to it, but it was already started. It was already going down so quickly that EDG actually went over the wall and swept it without clearing the wards. They just hit the Baron immediately. They found time again.
Ooh, ulti up from Jinx. Does steal it.
There you go.
2 for 2 on global steals on camera.
And now they both have blue buffs anyway, so the end result is ideal.
Very ideal, actually. This spawn's only getting stronger as well. OMG are also scaling, it should be noted. 3 items up for pretty much every one of the cores here. That's going. Cool and Uzi on the Trundle, Azir, and Sivas. So kind of good to go here. Good utility items as well for the utility duo there, Loveling and San with the Locket and Talisman respectively. So they can fight, but EDG are not letting them.
No, there's no real... Again, like, OMG, they're strong. They've got the 3 core items on their AD. They've got 3 on their mid lane. Even top is big. And as you said, the Talisman, the Locket are ready to go, but they can't engage. They're a Gragas and a Janna. They've got the Sivir ultimate, but to follow that up, to actually engage, is the lack thereof engage. It's an unreliable Gragas cast that people can use displacement spells and avoid. And then you've got a Trundle killer. It's risky.
Yeah.
Whereas EDG, they've got Jinx that can bombard people from range. They're using double global ultimates just to poke them down at the moment. And they want OMG to come at them. because though OMG right now are in a point of strength and they can look to fight irrespective of the goal difference, if they come at EDG, it's still really bad for OMG.
Yep, and this is what we've seen time and time again. OMG going to push forward, but they will be repelled. Koro looking for something, does get zoned out there by Cool. And again, it's just the poke show here, but now they're moving forward. Good ult there, just for some splash damage. EDG happy to find a pick. Cool sets up a turret, barely dodges that Q from Braum, but that Sun turret not going to last very long.
Only a minor deterrent, essentially, to this EDG side. Is really, they're just waiting for Dragon number 5, maybe Baron number 3. Play it calm, maintain the lead that you have right now, and start to snowball the game out of it. They are pretty much an item ahead on this Jinx at the moment. They're in a very comfortable position. Their Maokai is huge. He's not going to go down anytime soon. There is a last response in this, but eventually, it takes an awful long time against Maokai.
And again, going in Cool now. Going to team up to take out some turrets, trying to get some gold back in. OMG have done a good job holding on to this game and not letting it spiral out of control. But it feels like the nail's about to be put in the coffin. Uzi, good spell shield. Might have died if he didn't.
There's so many things you can spell shield though against an AP Ezreal, to say the least. But they are putting Koro in the bottom lane right now. Going will end up responding sooner or later and dealing with that guy because he can stop the teleports. The rest of EDG again, I said they were using Death's ultimate to poke people down. They just couple that with the Ezreal that is just a machine gun of spells right now that is just poking them consistently. And then they find themselves in such convincing positions that they'll be able to just outright take them. But at the moment, OMG are doing very well of not giving more than they have to, but they're not trading things, they're just letting them have them.
Yeah, and they're falling behind here. They're about, what, 6,000, 7,000 gold behind already. Baron number 3 is about to spawn in this game, and they might have found a pick on Koro, though. This could be what OMG need. They're going to kite around. Sivers pop the ulti. Koro's very tanky. He will fall, though. It's 1v4. Can't live through all the damage. Oh, my God. Never mind. Pawn Snipe's cool. Back to 4v4.
Well, there's the trade. Look, that was awesome.
That was disgusting.
Why does that happen?
APS does a lot of damage, as it turns out.
Yeah, that was really well done from Pawn in particular because Koro was running in a predictable pathing towards his team. So it was decided that he was going to at least give escaping an attempt in a direction. He didn't just concede.
They're going. He's in top lane. Having a go.
They have no Maokai.
Trying to get the tower. They don't. Def has to go back. Clear Love, yeah, does have tunnels, but none that close. Gogong is going to do it. He's the first one to break a base. Takes out the top tower. Very sneaky.
And they're also pinging Baron right now, so they've directed a lot of attention towards that top lane. They do have to deal with him. He can clear vision now with his support around the Baron area. And suddenly they find themselves with some control they otherwise shouldn't have.
Yeah, OMG with a power shove there. That pick onto the Maokai specifically, despite Cool being dead, might have paid off nicely here. Azir is back now as well. Cool will push back out the bottom wave. Dragon's up in a minute. Baron's up in 15 seconds, and they are both important for these two teams.
Honestly, like...
Oh, not again.
Trying to steal everything with an Ezreal and a Jinx ult is such a cute, cheesy strategy that's like not even the main goal of their team comp. Baron up in 3 seconds. EDG, they're there.
Oh, Uzi going in. They need Koro again if they can get him. But this time his team's there. Loveling going to try and draw them out, but he's taking too much damage. Stan now trapped in there with the Braum ulti. His Pawn almost 2-shots him. They'll keep cutting back with the 2 tanky on the front line. Uzi will die. That's 2 kills there for Jinx. Pawn will get the 3rd, and that might be it.
That is a very bad predicament. Again, they find Koro, they use the Sivir ultimate, they say, well, we can make a pick here again. It worked out for us last time, but this time the rest of EDG, as per expected, were near the Baron area. Oh, they're going for Cool.
Yep. Cool's going to be okay. Pops the barrier. Oh,
wow.
That flash.
That was close.
That was close.
EDG, though, they're breaking the base themselves with a little bit more of an emphasis behind it. The Dragon number 5 is now available. Baron is available. The question is, what will they choose?
And if I know EDG, it's going to be both.
It looks like both. Deft has said, guys, we're going to Baron, and Clear Love has said, no, I am going to Dragon.
Deft's going to start it. Here he goes.
Where is my team? I have started it.
Look, Scott will go first. First things first. Dragon does go down. EDG will get Dragon number 5. Cool.
The difference was OMG were looking to contest the Baron if they had started it. So they get the Dragon at the same time. They put pressure in 2 places at once, and then they just maintain vision.
Let's go going. Gets caught there. Ulted up by Jinx. Almost dead there. Clear up Roars over with the ultimate. Koro's ported in, and that's a good ult there from Cool trying to zone them away. But Koro's in the backline. He's actually taking too much damage. He can't get back out. Great ult from Loveling to disperse them. OMG needs to keep running in, but it's too much damage. Pawn's ulti goes wide.
Koro.
Baron's doing damage. Koro barely going to live. Pawn takes out Cool. And EDG will get Baron.
They find the best case scenario in what was an otherwise very weird situation, to say the least. But going, tanking Jinx with the 5th Dragon buff underneath the Baron. Not really sure what he was thinking there, but end result, EDG, of course, they find a fantastic team fight again. They're just going from strength to strength. They're playing a very calm, collected, and controlled game. Now they've got so many items to boot with this Dragon and Baron that if they don't win the game from this, I would be surprised, because they've been playing it slowly. There's only so slow that you can play the game that you're past win position.
EDG are just a team that build momentum unlike almost any other team.
Yeah.
Like, you want to think about snowballing and that whole analogy of rolling it down the hill and that packs up snow and starts going faster and faster. That's EDG to a team.
And it's like the
Ulti?
snowball has spikes on it though.
Yes.
It's like a pressure-based
It's
thing.
got a Jinx gun sticking out of the side as Loveling trying to defend his turret. Trying to get these invaders out of his house, but I think it's just going to get dove instead. He will live, but Pawn will get the turret. Def going to go nuts in the backline. Cool, trying to take him out off to the side. Going, taking up a lot of damage, but he will go down to Mako. EDG will break the base. They'll rip through these turrets, and Edward Gaming will keep that perfect streak alive during EDG week. The game will end. OMG put up a fight, but they couldn't do it. Cool there with the ult in the end. Might be enough, but it's not quite. Def will clean house here on Jinx. Damage is ridiculous. The ace is completed. A triple for Ezreal and a game win for EDG.
And just like that, EDG, they work slowly around that objective control. They find a very early lead for Deft on this Jinx. 5-1 out of laning phase, only finished the game 9-1. So you can see from that laning phase, all of EDG's focus was on getting everyone else some money, not just the Jinx. They can't rely on one person carrying. They are a very strong team. They're not an individual. If it was Uzi that had the 5-1, would have been a different story here from OMG, but
it wasn't. And you can see Cool talking to his teammates, relaying probably exactly that there. Mako, animated as always, with a big grin on his face, saying, hey, I quite like this EDG week thing. It's pretty nice.
You'd be pretty happy having posters and going 2-0 in every game.
Well, they're one more game away from doing it once again here. OMG, I was impressed with how they played, but that early game just went so south.
It feels like the biggest issue of OMG was not even the early game decision making, of course, detrimental to the team's overall performance. By the end of it, they had a very big def to do with. The Jinx was using ultimate to snipe things, she didn't even need it for kills. Was getting excited in fights regardless. But it felt like the drafting,
Yeah.
they had a set plan in place with the Gragas and the Janna,
And the Trundle.
even the Azir to a degree, right? And the Sivir ultimate can be used offensively and defensively. And then they just counter-pick the top lane. So they put all of their effort into disengage, and they couldn't disengage because they were against Pope.
Yeah, EDG drafted really well though. Like you said, very rounded team comp, and it's ended up playing really well though. You can see Loveling trying to figure out what happened there. How they can kind of realign there for the next game. You can see the OMG fans with the signs. Still there cheering for the team. They did have a good game here, but there's a lot more EDG fans as it turns out. Big Koro fan club right there in the middle. And again, just an absurd amount of signage for EDG, a team that, let's be honest, absolutely deserves it in China.
100%. You wouldn't have a week named after you
Hope
if you did
not.
not deserve it, to say the least. So EDG, they've started this series 1-0 up, and it was a very impressive showing, and it's nice to see the pressure still being there, but in a calm, collected, and very precise manner.
Yeah, it's just not as chaotic anymore. Lots of scaling, and that's cool. We used to see a lot of, I think Nunu was here.
Yeah.
Jinx was the EDG special in split number 1. That had a similar sort of feel to it.
It definitely did. It had the very, very cool feel to it, the way they were working. We're basically a 3-person bot lane in Siege, and this EDG team, pretty dangerous.
Pretty dangerous indeed. We'll see if they can keep that clean streak up, though. OMG have only one more chance to try and tie for 6. Don't go too far away. We're about to have EDG versus OMG for our last game of the split.